myself, Bhava Mishra, international chess player, 2016 Under-20 Commonwealth bronze medalist, would like to welcome you all on behalf of Premier Chess Academy for the 5th episode of the expert analysis series on the Chess World Championship played between Jan Nepo and Ding Liren, held at Astana, Kazakhstan, 2023. So as of round 4, the points are 2-2. Ding scored a win in the game number 4 with white pieces playing the English opening to make it 2-all. In the first 3 games, Ding looked scratchy. Especially in game number 2, Ding did not really play well with the white pieces. But in game 4, he pounced on all the mistakes that Jan Nepo did and scored a brilliant win to make it 2-2. And after game 4, it could have been also seen that Ding is getting comfortable with the surroundings. He was just watched smiling with Richard Rapport after the game, and they were just sharing some good discussions about round number 4. So everyone expected that game 5 would be really interesting, and as it happened, Nepo with the white pieces again got the lead, scored a brilliant win with the Royal LePage, and now after round 5, the score is 3-2, and with Nepo leading with 1 point, we will see a lot of fireworks in the next 9 rounds to come. Already in the 5 rounds that have gone, 3 games have been decisive, with 2 games being won by Nepo, 1 by Ding Liren. And both the players are really trying to fight it out and not go for easy draws as we have seen in the previous World Championships. So let's move on with the game. In game 5, Nepo chose his favorite Royal LePage as he did in game 1. So e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, a6, bishop a4, knight f6. This is all standard and this is all played in game 1. White castle, bishop e7, d3 was played here in game number 5, but in the first game, white went for bishop c6, d captures on c6, and here Nepo went rook e1, black went knight d7, d4, e d4, queen d4, black castles, bishop f4, knight c5, queen e3 was what happened in game number 1. And Nepo had some share of chances here in this position, but he wasn't able to build up upon anything. And that's why I think Nepo chose to change the openings. And as we see in all the 4 games that were played, we have got some different openings to play with. So again, Nepo here went for d3, which is not also very common. It's a sideline. The main move here in this position is as usual rook e1. b5, bishop b3, d6, c3, castles, h3, knight a5, bishop c2, c5, d4. It's the Chigurин variation in Royal LePage and it's mostly played. And Magnus Carlsen at this point goes for knight to b8. This is also an interesting idea called the Breyer variation. But in the game, after bishop e7, Nepo went for the move d3, which is not very common. But yeah, this is being tried by Maxime Vassilievgrave. It's being tried by Grishchuk. It's been tried by Magnus Carlsen. And there is a lot of games with Carlsen being playing this opening actually. So b5 was played, bishop b3, d6. Now this move idea is to go knight a5 and get this good bishop. Yeah. Here, currently the most popular move is like c3 as played in the game. Nepo played c3, but yeah, many players have also opted for a3. We could see Carlsen, Ding in 2017. a3 was played. Ding went for castles. Now knight c3. This is the standard pattern in this line. The pawn does not want to go to c3, but knight comes out so that they could fight for the d5 square. Knight a5, bishop a2. Now here there are 2 options. You can go c5, but then b4, knight c6, knight d5 is slightly better for white. You can also play bishop e6 as played by Ding, but then b4, bishop a2, rook a2, knight c6, knight d5. White holds some chances here. So I think Nepo followed these games, and I think he was better prepared than Ding. And it might have come as a surprise for Ding that Nepo is playing this line. So Nepo went c3, black castles. And here in this position, rook e1 is the most common and most obvious move that is being played. Rook e1, knight a5, bishop to c2, c5, knight d2, knight c6, knight f1. So the standard plan in Royal Lopez to get the knight to g3 and then to f5, and this is what is being commonly played. But the move played by Nepo is an interesting idea, and it's been recently tried by many grandmasters, including Grishchuk. h3, bishop d7, and here actually in one of the games, it was like Wesley So and Grishchuk. Grishchuk was white, Wesley So was black. In the candidates, the move here, rook e1 was played. And after this, a black played rook e8, knight to g5, rook f8 was played, knight d2, d5, pawn captures on d5, knight captures on d5, knight f3, queen d7, d4 was the line that was played in Krishchu versus Sovesia in the candidates, but Nepo wanted to deviate, and Nepo deviated with a4, and this is a very standard plan in Royal Lopez that players play a4 here to undermine the queen side and try to open up the a file and trade one pair of rooks and try to go for a king side attack. So as you could see, it looks like some sort of preparation by Nepo, and that's what we saw. Ding went for the standard moves with knight a5, bishop a2. Yeah, it could have been very obvious that bishop c2 could have been played here, but the bishop on c2 is not doing much, so putting the bishop on a2 is more sort of a better idea. So bishop a2 was played, c5, bishop g5. This move is a very cool idea. You want to take on the f6 knight. Nepo want to take the f6 knight and then get control of this weak square on d5. So h6, as Nepo has planned, there's no point of moving the bishop back. He wants to simply take it and fight for the square on d5. Pawn takes, knight d2. This is all standard up to this point. Knight c6 was played, and yeah, as we know now, the d5 square is weakened up, and the bishop on a2 could move to d5. Black traded a pair of rooks and went queen d7, trying to take up the open file with rook a8. Yeah, here it's a critical moment. Both the players have come into the middle game phase. The opening play has gone good for both sides. Nepo having a slight pressure on the king side in the center, and black having a good chance on the queen side. I hope Ding must have thought that this position is equal, and yeah, it's pretty obvious that this position is also equal, but yeah, not without some play. So white has some play here, and Ding still needs to fight hard to prove that this position could be easily drawn. As we will see in the game, Nepo asked a lot of questions to Ding, and Ding did not find the correct answers to all those questions. So to all the viewers, if you have found out here the idea rook e1, excellent, you are correct and you are going on the right path. So the idea of rook e1 is that white wants to clear up the f1 square and maneuver the knight either to g3 or d3 and get this d5 and f5 square under the control. So black went to k8, queen d1, and again we are again at the critical junction. White plan is knight f1, knight e3, which is very common. But what should black do in this position? And here black came up with a brilliant idea, and it's very common. It's not that it's something unique, but yeah, the idea must be known to find it out. And Ding simply improved the bishop on f6. Ding is a very good positional player, as we all know, and for him, this kind of positions are like bread and butter. So Ding went bishop d8, knight f1, knight e7. The knight was doing nothing on c6, so the light squared bishop get traded off. This bishop was a good piece for white, so black wanted to trade at that bishop, and after the trade, white went knight e3, trying to get control of the light color squares. Ding went for bishop b6, and at some point Ding wants to play c4 to activate his bishop on b6. At this point, white went h4. Absolutely brilliant and unique idea. This idea is very unique, and Nepo might have studied it before, and he applied this. The main idea of this h4 move is to fix up the king side, the g7 and h6 pawn, and then try to maneuver his knight through h4 to f5. Usually if you directly go knight h4 here, it's possible, but then after g6, it's not clear how you fight up for this f5 square, and this knight is misplaced on h4. So white wants to fix the black pawns on the black color by playing h4, h5, and it's like a positional idea which is not very common, but yeah, in many games this has been played. So h4, queen c6, obviously trying to go c4. White continued with the plan, fixed up the pawns on the dark color squares. Now c4. Yeah, obviously taking on c4 is not a good idea because it opens up the b file, and opening up the position in this position is not good. The bishop would be really powerful on b6. So as we know, when we have knights in a closed position, we should try to play with the knight. So white, obviously having the knights, wanted to close the position, so he went for d4. He captures on d4, and now here white has a choice to take with the pawn or to take with the knight, and white chose the correct thing to take with the knight. To all my viewers, I'll let you know that the pawn takes is slightly wrong because it gives black the majority on the queen side, and after d5, an excellent move by black. White has to go e5, and then this d4 pawn is a constant target, while white will be like black would be able to move the queen side majority with good play. So moving on to the game, takes, knight takes, and here Ding went for inaccurate move. Actually, the correct move was queen b7. It's a tricky idea. For all the viewers, don't think that this pawn is for free. If white is going to take the pawn, it's a big blunder because then black has bishop e3, rook e3 is met with queen b5, and you lose a piece. And if you think that you can go knight to d6, this is also not fully correct because then black has bishop f2, king f2, followed by queen b2 with enough counterplay, I think, to hold the game. But black went for queen c5, which is okay. But yeah, I would like all my viewers to pause here and think, how can white take advantage in this position? What is white's best move here? Nepo was not able to find the best move here. He went slightly wavered in this position, but yeah, pause yourself, take your time, and try to find the best move. Okay, so all the viewers who found out queen to f3, congratulations, you found out the best idea. And here the main point of queen f3 is that white wants to go e5 at some point and hit the rook, and also plan to get control of this d5 square, which is very, very important, as we're gonna see in the long run. So here black, if goes rook a2, thinking that he can create some sort of counter play. It's not fully correct, and white could play knight d5, knight d5, pawn d5, and as you could see, there are options of rook e8 now coming up. And if black tries to stop this with queen c8, white could go knight f5, planning to go knight e7, and then it would be a double attack on the king and the queen. And also the d6 pawn is being attacked, and the position is really, really unpleasant for black, and I think this should have been losing for black. And the best move here is a little bit different. Here black should play rook e8, a brilliant prophylactic idea, stopping knight d5, because now if knight d5, black can simply take on d5 knight, and white cannot capture back with the e pawn because then the rook on e1 is hanging. It's a pin. But in the game, Nepo went for the move queen g4, and the main idea is that he wants to now hit knight f5 at some point and also go queen d7. So black went queen e5, threatening to take on d4. So white went knight f3, attacking the queen. Queen moves back. Yeah, here being offered a trade of queens, but obviously white has much more better chances to create a threat on the king side. So obviously Nepo rejected the offer. He went for knight f5, and now there is a checkmate threat on g7. And here obviously Ding should have played queen f6, but at this point Ding did not play queen f6. Rather, he took the knight, which was a positional mistake, and Nepo found out a good position after this. So he captures on f5, queen f6, and here this queen is really stuck, while this queen has much better chances of creating threats. And this knight, as we could see, would try to improve its place and try to create some threats against the black king. But yeah, obviously here black should have played queen d7, which is much more obvious, because now the queen e4 idea is not possible because of d5. And white queen does not find any good squares in the center. But after queen f6 that was played in the game, this was a drawback of the move queen f6, that white could go queen e4, hitting the rook, and black has no way of playing d5. Black went rook b8, very obvious, trying to create some counterplay on the b2 pawn after b4. And we will also see the queen on f6 is hitting at the b2 pawn. So black main idea here is to go b4. So here again, I'd like all the viewers to pause and find out the move that Nepo found in the game. And I think this was the move that really caused all sorts of problems to black. A brilliant prophylactic move. So for all the viewers, those who have found out rook e2, brilliant. So I found out the best move, rook e2, protecting on b2, and now b4 is not possible because after b4 white can simply take on b4, and the b2 pawn is no more hanging because the rook on e2 protects it. So this was the idea of rook e2. Black went bishop c5, now planning to go b4, and the rook now gets the chance to attack b2, but white is much faster. White went for g4, threatening g5, queen d8, and another brilliant move by Nepo. He's in that sort of form. He went for the move queen d5, just stopping black from getting the pawn to d5, and really putting his queen in a central square from where it can access all parts of the board. King f8, king f1, just moving the king out of the way and planning to go for g5. Yeah, in this position, white could also try something funny moves like king g2, king g3, get his king up and then play this. But yeah, this would be too much because the king may come up in the game, but there'll be some sort of counterplay for black. So whatever white did was correct here. King f1 was the best move. Black went rook c8. I think this is slightly dubious. There is not much play for black, and that's what Nepo is counting on. And Nepo improved his rook to e4, trying to play g5 and follow it up with rook to g4. Rook b8. So as we could see, Ding is not finding any real plans, and he's just waiting for white to break in the position, and white here went for g5. Yeah, this is the critical moment in the game where Ding went wrong. Yeah, obviously Ding should have played queen d7, but now the position is really, really difficult for black to play here. And as we could see in the game, at this point, after g8-6, g8-6, black is able to hold on, but yeah, the position is extremely complicated. But in the game, Ding went for h captures on g5, which is slightly wrong. White went rook g4, and here black could have played f6, but white has a brilliant attack here. I would like all my viewers to pause here and find out how do you refute f6. So for all those who have found out the brilliant move knight h4, congratulations. You are tactically brilliant, you're tactically strong. So knight h4 here is the correct move, and after g captures on h4, white goes h6. Brilliant idea. Threatening if takes, rook g8, king e7, and queen e6 is a checkmate. And if you try to support the pawn here, then white can simply play h7, and there's no way to stop the promotion. So yeah. So that's the reason why rook a8 was played in the game, and Ding is trying to create some counterplay here. But yeah, now knight g5, threatening mate on f7. The position is really tough. Rook a1 check, king e2, queen e7 check, protecting on f7 with a tempo. King knight e4 was played here, and after queen e8, just move the king out of pin. And as you could see here, none of the white pieces can be targeted, and it's totally white is playing on the light color squares, and this bishop is completely out of the play. Black here tried to trade it queens, the last hope, but yeah, this does not work as Nepo found out the best set of moves here. Queen a8, rook a8, and I'd like all the viewers to pause here and find out the winning move for white. So if you found out f6, brilliant. White is trying to undermine the g7 pawn and create a fast pawn on the h5. That cannot be stopped. Black went for the move g6, captured, black captures back, rook g6, and now after rook a2, white found out the best moves. King g4, trying to create a mating net with the king, rook, and knight against the black king. Rook a2 was played, and after rook h6, king resigned because there is no way to stop rook h8. Suppose say bishop f2 is played, then white simply goes rook h8, king f7, king f5, and there is no way to stop knight g5 or knight d6 checkmate. So with this win, Nepo gets the lead back, and we will have an exciting round number 6 coming up with Ding again having the white pieces. And everyone, those who have not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to follow us and to keep watching the content on the World Championship matches. We'll be back shortly with another episode on the round number 6 shortly. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye. See you next time.